everyone, and welcome to a special edition of the Jake's Take with Jacob Elyachar Podcast. I'm your host, Jacob Elyachar, the chief content producer and writer of jakestake.com, a pop culture entertainment news website. If you're watching us on YouTube, please give us a thumbs up. Now, if you're listening to on our audio platforms, please give us a 5-star rating. Download this episode and more of over 375 pieces of content. I'm thrilled to welcome today's guest. He's an actor. He starred, created, and executive produced in Youthful Daze. He guest starred on General Hospital and Palm Royale. But however, on November 21st, he is taking on one of the most iconic film villains of all time in Reckless, and his character's name is Forrest. So please let me welcome Bryan James to the podcast.
Hi, what an introduction. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
You're so welcome, Bryan. I bet you didn't expect that introduction.
No, but like my character says, I'm not going to be ignored, Jacob. So I appreciate the introduction.
You're so welcome. You cannot be ignored either. It's like, the thing is, that character, it's one of the most iconic cinematic villains. So, and we're going to be talking about that role soon.
So, I can't wait. Yeah.
All right. Fun. So let's get to the origin story. So when did you get interested in performing, and how did that passion evolve into a desire to pursue a career in the entertainment industry?
I've always been into acting. I feel like I tried to pursue other avenues, and being a performer is in my blood. I was someone that was telling my family I need to go on to independent study and I need to start performing. When I was in high school, they made me graduate, regrettably first, but I moved out to LA right when I first could, actually, and I got my SAG card on a TV show called Mystery ERR. It was kind of like a reenactment thing. And yeah, having a lot of different opportunities and experiences, and then finding my lane, having success, a lot of stuff on the internet with web series and such. And now this movie coming out is so exciting.
Absolutely. Now, the thing is, my folks would never have allowed me that. Shout out, Mom and Dad. Love you, Gloria and Matthew. But the thing is, they needed me to go on college. So I don't blame. I am a little envious that you tackled the City of Angels head on.
Yeah, and the promise was Santa Monica Junior College with the tackling of LA, and I did go for a few semesters, but then I got into acting classes in Hollywood. I studied with Ivana Chubbuck at the Ivana Chubbuck Studio, and then that kind of convinced them to let me go to that and not go to school. So it was a one step at a time kind of process, because it is daunting. The odds are against you. People tell you how competitive it is. I would tell anyone listening, and understandably so, it's like, if you can do something else, do it. But if you feel like it's your vocation and what you feel like you want to bring to the table, so to speak, then go for it.
That's what I heard about when it comes to podcasting, because people said, Jacob, you've been doing interviews for many years. When's the money coming in? And like, yes, I admit I have a day job, but at the same time, it's like, it's my passion. I want to do this. And like, yes, I made some really good ad money, and yeah, it's coffee money, but like, the same time is, I never would have the opportunity to have conversations with people like you, Bryan, or all my guests I've interviewed. So I'm just very lucky and to be fulfilled by doing this.
I love that. I love your frankness too about things. I think honesty and integrity, vibrates more than ever in the culture. We all need to just be there for each other. So I love being here and talking to you.
Thanks, Bryan. I appreciate it. So many of my audience know you from the digital web series Youthful Daze, which you created, executive produced, and starred alongside the likes of Chrishelle Stause, Rick Hoax, and a guest of this podcast, Mike Manning. So what were some of your favorite memories from your time on Youthful Daze?
Youthful Daze is an experience that went on for several years, and I was very blessed to work with all of those people and many, many more. And I think it really taught me a lot about life and actually about energy. And a lot of things about acting, I feel like actually come from those nonverbal, energetic charges. And I'm so blessed and thankful to have had the experience of working with so many different people. I was working with people that were, in the industry for decades and decades and brought a perspective and an energy to the work. And at the same token, there were some of us, myself included, where this was like one of our first professional experiences that was really getting attention, that we were a major part of. And kind of having that experience be a mixture of both of those things was something that is very interesting, and you learn a lot. And I don't know that I would even be the person that I am or have learned the things I've learned if I didn't put myself through that experience. And so on a personal level, it was very, challenging at times, and then also ultimately such a blessing. And I think it's, something that a lot of people probably will never experience. But like in my mid 20s, I was starring on this show with all of these people and also running it. And it was quite something. It really was.
And here's the thing: do you think Youthful Days paved the way for like Orange Is the New Black, or the way we see all the Netflix shows that Netflix is doing, Prime Video, Disney Plus? Do you think it paved the way?
That is such an interesting question. Um, I mean, I thought at the time that I had my finger on the pulse of what was going to be relevant and what was going to be the next move in narrative storytelling, in representation, in social dynamics, in stereotypes, and changing the identity of them. So I would leave that up to other people to decide, but I appreciate the recognition and the acknowledgement, because there was a forethought to not only doing something that would be of that moment, but that if I didn't, that other things were about to. And so I think we will reflect off of each other. And I was right. Whether people want to give my show that credit is up to them to decide. But I really appreciate that question, actually, because I felt that. And I think Euphoria then was like, hold my beer, and then really took it like very far in a very aggressive way with a platform. And also, I knew that that kind of content would propel the talents involved. That was one of the strategies of wanting to be in that project. And I was right. I mean, you see a lot of the people from Euphoria are some of the biggest people in Hollywood right now.
Absolutely. And then also next to some of the people as well, like for example, Rick Hearst is coming back on General Hospital strong. Mike Manning won 2 daytime Emmys. So, and
That's
Chrishelle
so great.
Stause whacked out Selling Sunset and The Traders and Dance with the Stars. So she said a lot of people have come your way. Those people came
Oh
and
yeah.
continue to be iconic in their fields.
And they're all lovely. Yeah, they're all lovely people too. They're all really great. Mike especially is someone am so proud of, to see him accomplish everything that he wants to, and is a great person.
Absolutely. Shout out, Mike.
Hi, Mike.
Alrighty, so you also guest. So in addition to Youthful Days, you also guest starred on what the long-running General soap ABC soap operas, General Hospital, and you also guest starred on one of the most critically acclaimed shows that Apple TV has offered, Palm Royale. So, what were some of the lessons that you learned from these sets that helped you grow as an actor?
I love this question. Well, starting with General Hospital, I was lucky enough to have them bring me back a few times as a bartender. Don't want to undersell it. It was an experience that I was very thankful to have. Ultimately, it kind of showed me the truth of the perspective. You can get emotionally tied into things. It's like you're on that set, it's like work. Everyone's so clocked in. There's so many people, there's so many things going on, and just like kind of seeing that dynamic from the inside out was a blessing, because I think in life sometimes you can take things personally. And I think it's important to remember, and even in acting where you are emotional and you're emotionally charged, that at the end of the day, things are a business. Things are operating very quickly, and people are really efficiently doing their jobs, and then they're going home to their families. And it's like having those perspectives is a blessing. So that kind of clocked me in when I'm on the web series grind. I got the metaphorical mud in my hands and just dealing with all these emotions, that it's like, what a blessing to step onto a fully functional like environment where there's hundreds of people doing all the jobs that need to be achieved to get this thing told. And so kind of seeing how the sausage is made from the inside out was really cool. Palm Royale was also an amazing experience because it's like Kristen Wiig is like standing next to you by the craft service and is just so normal and so kind and so on it. And it's 9:30 in the morning, and then she's doing her monologue over and over again, and she's hitting the beats the way you would expect, but then in a different kind of way. And she's so charming. And so it's like watching people excel on the level they do, and also seeing that is a very human thing happening, and that you're just right there next to it is really fun and rewarding. And so that was a pinch me moment, to like be in the scene with her in the same space was very cool.
That's pretty amazing too. Nobody can say this. I've heard a lot of people come on this podcast that have daytime experience and say that night, like daytime, is like, oh boy, you got to have your shit together as soon as possible. Whereas nighttime, it feels laid back, and you got to. And not all like here, but here's the thing: not a lot of actors can say, "Hey, I've been I was a guest character on one of the longest running television series of all time," or "Hey, I've been in on this show that features Kristen. I have shared a scene with Kristen Wiig, an SNL alum, and not to mention I'm on the same guest casting as Carol Burnett."
I appreciate you. I mean, I have had pinch me moments in my life. I've had other things that I've experienced that also feel very uniquely singular. I don't know what to say. I hope to continue to have more and more and more of these things. There's that modality. The most exciting thing is the next job, and I really feel that way. Everything is so cool and is so fun, and I'm just looking for more yeses and to have more of these experiences, because they really feel like when you look back on them, you're like, wow. But it's like in the moment, you're just living through this moment, and so Meryl Streep said that about something I was studying. She was like about the work and about the longevity of her career. She's like, only in reflection do you see all the coolness. And it's like, there's been so much coolness in my life. And I'm so like appreciative of it. What goes on in my head every day, though, is what I just said to you. Like, I need the next gig, and then learning how to be like relaxed about it and move through it, because it's all about energy, like I was saying too. I really believe it's that's the interesting thing about being a performer, really kind of tap into all of these truths.
Absolutely. And now here's the thing. I've been also like, for me in my head, it's like, how is this going to go into that? But at the same time, I really enjoy my interviews. And the thing is, I want to be doing this. Like, two of my greatest heroes are Barbara Walters and Regis Philbin, and both of them have careers that were over 50 years. I'd rather be like that than be a flash in the pan.
No, totally. Oh, and I love both of those guys. And you're great. I love like already, you have like a perspective and a directness, but an emotional like openness. It's a great, it's Barbara Walters level, my friend.
Thank you so much, Brian. I really appreciate it. Be an honor to be in the same league as for one these days, but like I'm slowly but surely growing. But however, both of us have had experience of challenges like space when we've in working in the entertainment media industry. It's probably the most competitive world and maybe second cutthroat next to politics. So what have been some of the challenges that you face staying in our industry, and how have you overcome those obstacles?
This is interesting, because I think it's important in life to not emphasize genuinely like more of what you don't want. So if there have been experiences that candidly are not ideal, like it's interesting to go through them and to then acknowledge that, and then to know to move away from it. when I was first starting out in this industry, I kind of saw that there are a lot of pitfalls and ways of looking at things, or kind of, mentally getting entwined in certain moments or dealings with people that may not have been positive, that I think is universal and happens to everyone in life. But it's like, I like about Hollywood actually that it is a lot on the line, and that the authenticity when overall, I think the cream rises to the top. And I think that like people like transparency more than ever. And I think that like all of that plays into like wanting to go through hard things or things that are not ideal, and carry yourself the way you want to be seen, and be respectful to other people and to other kind of ways that they may see things, because ultimately that's all you have, is like how you choose to act, not what other people say about you, and which is not always true even, which is very much a whole other answer. But it's, and so just like deciding how you show up, and that Hollywood and LA and, entertainment industry kind of demands that of you. Like you can pretend to be that way, but I think it will blow up in your face eventually. So it's like you kind of have to continue to internally evolve, and be a strong, healthy person. And I could go on for like 20 more minutes about this answer, but that's what I actually love about it. It's like definitely a personality type that I have that may not be what everyone would share, but I kind of like going through it and having to like rise to the challenge and grow, and constructive criticism and all of that stuff. It's not a bad thing.
And it's better. And Brian, you're right, because authenticity matters. And we have seen a lot of celebrities whose brands have been like saying they're authentic, and then however we see in the tabloids, in the entertainment magazines recently, and I can name a couple of them, but I do not want to be sued. So I we're going so but a lot of people know who they are.
Yeah. I was thinking in my head right now because I'm reading about it too, and I'm like, "Ooh," but I knew it. It's like it feels like you knew it even before you knew it. That's what I mean about the
How about this?
authenticity.
How about this? We'll exchange notes after this conversation off camera. Yeah. So, but however, Brian, we got to talk about what's coming up on Friday, November 21st, because you are going to be really releasing the upcoming thriller Reckless, starring Max Elrich. And so, what attracted you to this film?
Sorry, can you hear me? Are you there?
I'm
I
here. I'm
can't
here.
hear
I'm here.
you.
I'm so sorry. Sorry, everybody. We've had technical difficulties. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back, everybody. Sorry about that. We had technical difficulties, but Brian is back with us. So I was saying before we went to break, Brian, that we both will exchange information on those celebrities who was built on authenticity, but their stuff was shown by their true colors were shown by tabloids after we have our conversation.
We have the receipts. Yeah. Yeah, we'll do that in private.
Yeah, it's because both of us don't want to get sued for libel. All right, so we got yeah. So we got to go and talk about the meat and potatoes of our conversation. So on November 21st, you'll release the upcoming thriller Reckless with your co-star Max Elric. So what attracted you to this film?
That Glenn Close energy, right? That Glenergy. Gotta get a piece
Glenergy, I
of it.
never heard that term
Gotta
before.
be like,
Glenergy.
yeah. Yeah, we need to bring the Glenergy. I think that was in the movie Do Revenge. So just want to give a shout out to them. They did talk about the Glenergy of Glenn Close in Fatal Attraction. It's so iconic, right? So there's an identity of it, and I honestly wanted to tap into something that I feel like she energetically made, and I wanted to like craft it and take it and make it my own. It's so tangible and real to me and distinct, like what she did. With that being said, like, that was just the formation of it. Like ultimately it's exciting to do something in the landscape where people kind of get the elevator pitch I've been so excited to have a Fatal Attraction reimagining, and I mean, being involved in a remake is something that I've never done before, and so honestly, there's an obligation, a responsibility, and excitement level because it's a reference point. And so moving around all of that was really appealing to me, like more appealing than maybe almost anything I've ever made before. I've been a part of. And so it's been a blessing. It's been a pinch me experience. It's been a, oh my God, this is actually happening. How amazing, you know. I really, really can't speak enough to how awesome it is because of how much excitement I have over the idea of being a part of this.
And I know that you're tackling one of the greatest cinematic villains of all time, Alex Forrest. So, as you were preparing for the film, how did you make sure that your version of Alex will not be compared to Glenn Close's iconic character portrayal of the character?
That's such an important thing, you know, like I wanted to do my own thing. So, I mean, first of all, these are obvious statements, but the context of a guy having an affair with a man is different. There was different tones and a different ways that the story moved. That gave me a freedom and a liberty to explore a different aspect of the character, to tap into something that's familiar, but then to craft someone that's completely distinctly their own person. Hopefully, he's a spiritual successor or twin, so to speak, to the Alex that you know from 1987. But he can also just be his own distinct person that has nothing to do with this, really. And I think that if I do my job right, that you'll see that. And so I'm proud to have kind of been able to take it and make it its own thing because that's important. But there are a few moments that just are too fun because they're very on the nose to the original movie with all the reverence and affinity that we have, you know, behind the scenes for it. Because it wasn't just me; it was everyone on the crew and the cast really likes the movie, and so we definitely establish our own thing, which is imperative, and we do a little fun homage here and there, which is also kind of what I think people want and we need to do.
Absolutely. So, if you had the opportunity to hear if Michael Douglas or Glenn Close heard about the movie, and why would you want them to watch it, or what do you hope they take away from this?
Glenn, I love you. And you are iconic. And I hope that you can see the different shades of this original character and how important it is to tell these stories. And Michael Douglas, you dog, you know, here's more men being bad in the modern day. No, I mean they're the legends, they're the icons. If they ever, you know, look this way, hopefully they'll see it was done with a lot of respect and a lot of creative flavor to give it just something completely new. You know, I think I was looking at the script the other day, and there's like 30 something scenes in this that are completely original, have nothing to do with Fatal Attraction. And then there's like 5 or 6 that are like, oh, this is exactly Fatal Attraction. And so when you put that all together, mathematically, I was never a mathematician, but I guess, you know, I'd want them to know that their work is so well regarded, and then we just took it and we were able to make something very new in 2025, and hopefully them and anyone else that likes that movie would see that and like it, because it's like making a meal, you know, and you have all these different ingredients that go into it.
Absolutely, absolutely. And also, why should my audience watch Reckless?
Because you're gonna get something that you're expecting, and then you're gonna get things that you weren't, and it's gonna give you a different kind of view into themes that are explored, including themes in the original Fatal Attraction that I think are more interesting than ever to look at. And I'm just like actually very excited at what the conversation might be around how this movie goes and what some of the takeaways are of it.
Awesome, awesome. So, last question, are you ready?
Yes.
All righty, Brian. Where can my audience find Reckless? And more importantly, If you're on social media, where would they find you?
You can find Reckless at recklessmovie.net. It's available to rent and purchase after November 21st. And you can find me on Instagram at Bryan with a Y, Bryan, Andrew James. I'm mostly on Instagram these days. Yeah. And I appreciate your time. And I hope that everyone has a great holiday and then, also checks out this movie.
Absolutely. So, guys, if you missed an episode of the Jake's Take with Jacob Elyachar podcast, visit our channels on Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and Spreaker. Jake's Take with Jacob Elyachar, JACOBELYACHAR. Now, are you on social media? I'm on social media too. Facebook, Instagram, Threads, Twitter, and YouTube. Jacob Elyachar, JACOBELYACHAR. And want to find all my interviews with some General Hospital alumni? Well, head over to jakes-shake.com. Once again, jakes-shake.com. And also, I just want to say thank you so much to the American Business Awards and the Stevie Awards for considering the Jake's Take with Jacob Elyachar podcast to be a proud recipient of the Silver Stevie for Best Interview Talk Show in a podcasting division. Bryan, thank you so much for your time. Congratulations on the new film, and I'm very excited to see what you do next.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure talking to you.
All righty, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. Until next time, have a great one, everybody. Good.